Greetings and welcome to the great courses of South Carolina. My name is Vern Wyatt and today we're at historic Earlewood Park in Columbia, South Carolina. The park is located in the Earlewood community of Columbia, just off of Main Street. If you're coming in the front entrance off of Main from downtown, you'll first pass under a railway while turning left into the parking lot. The large building just past the parking lot is the community center, whose location directs you immediately to the tees for holes 1 and 10. Players may access hole 1 by following a path to the left of the fountain behind the building. Moving to the right of the building, the sidewalk in the white will provide you access to hole 10, with tee pads for 1 on the upper left and hole 3 further down the sidewalk. Another good starting option is to follow the road to the right past the stop sign and up the hill. This will take you another parking lot with a large field situating among the later holes of the course. Players can also access this lot by entering through the back entrance off of Parkside Drive, where this sign is located. The story of Earlewood Park's disc golf course, as well as the immediately identifiable baskets, go hand in hand. It's a story that begins over 30 years and 150 miles away from Columbia. In 1977-1978, PDGA legend Steady Ed Hendrick looked to introduce disc golf to the South Carolina coast, at the largest area of tourism in the state, Myrtle Beach. To accomplish this, he designed courses where the crowds gathered the most at various locations along Highway 17, Kings Road. All of these properties were owned by Myrtle Beach businessman Stacy Hucks. The first 2 of these 5 courses were 9-hole pay-to-play courses that used single-chain DGA Mach 1 targets. These were, however, not the typical DGA targets. The targets on the first 2 courses were domed and wired with the capability of being lighted at night. The reason for this was to permit night golf in an attempt to be marketable on the brightly lit Myrtle Beach Strip. The first of these was at the Apache Family Campground in 1977. This was shortly followed by a similar course at North Myrtle Beach in 1978. In addition, these courses were the reason behind Hendrick's invention of the Night Flyer disc series, which could glow in the dark. This capability was enabled when discs were lit both in the baskets as well as by the lighted tee signs. It is also important to note that some sources indicate these frisbees were invented in 1976, but the patent stamp on the earliest discs lists the patent date as 1978. By the late 1980s, the Myrtle Beach courses had closed and the baskets were stored at Myrtle Beach State Park. Some sources indicate that the reason for the closure was 1989's Hurricane Hugo, which included a course closure at Huntington Beach State Park. However, contact with management and research with Huntington Beach State Park indicate that no such course ever existed, so obviously there is still much to learn here. Around this same time, 2-time PDGA World Champion and Innovadisc co-founder Harold Duvall worked with the South Carolina Department of Parks, Rec, and Tourism to relocate these targets to land in the state capital. The city of Columbia helped finalize the deal and Duvall was able to begin work. The domed baskets from the 2 9-hole courses were officially donated by the South Carolina Department of Parks, Rec, and Tourism, and the course of Earlewood Park was put in place. Every year since the course's inception in 1990, Earlewood Park has been host to a number of great disc golf events in South Carolina. None of those is bigger than the Earlwood Classic. In 1990, with Harold Duvall as tournament director, the Earlwood Classic began. In 1995, Columbia disc golf legend Ed Garris took over for the next 12 years. After a short tenure with David Cannon, Garris returned as TD in 2010 for another 5 years before leaving Columbia for the Outer Banks. In 2015 and 2016, Shay Vandekar teamed up with Sarah Lamberson and Darrell Lambrecht to expand the Classic to a 2-weekend Pro-Am event. By 2017, with Dan Ainer as TD, the tourney reverted back to its 1-weekend format. This is how it has existed the past 2 years under current tournament director Ben Stiles. In 2014, Earlewood Park became host to another great disc golf event, the Ladies and Gentlemen's Mixed Doubles event. Created by Sarah Lamberson because of her fondness for the doubles format, it was initially just a fun, unsanctioned event. In the planning for year 2, Lamberson was inspired to both grow the event and try to expand beyond basic competition and try to make a difference. Having lost her mother to cancer at a young age, Sarah thought teaming up with the South Carolina Cancer Alliance would be a perfect fit. She also partnered with Innova's Throw Pink initiative. Although this is not solely a women's event, it's certainly an event driven by women. In 2019, the Ladies and Gents event has maxed out with 120 players from across the Southeast. As previously mentioned, the Earlewood baskets are DGA Mach 1 targets at heart and retain some of the original modifications for lighting, but they have also continued to evolve. The dome remains, but obviously it's no longer lighted. The single row of outer chains were moved to create an inner row similar to the style of the Mach 3 targets. In a similar fashion, an outer row was created by using an old chain set from an Innova basket. The original tray was also replaced with an early generation Innova disc catcher tray. Let's take a closer look at how these baskets are put together. These baskets, one time I thought these were just Mach 1 baskets. They're actually kind of Franken baskets, because originally these were the baskets that came from 2 courses in Myrtle Beach. Harold Duvall got these from storage in Myrtle Beach at the state park and brought them up here and created this course. The dome and the pole are from the original lighted baskets. Now what they would do, the dome had bulbs in here where it'd hang down. You could see this in the dark, and the electric power came through this hole in the bottom and wired through the top. Now the chains, the inner set of chains, these are the original Mach 1 chains. They were moved in more recent years to create an inner set of chains, and then the outer chains, which actually come to this ring here, these are from an Innova disc catcher, as is this. This is from one of the early generation Innova disc catcher baskets. So you can see that instead of a flat tray, it's actually a beveled tray that goes down. Now this can come into play as well as the hood when you're putting. Holes 15 and 16 are two of my favorite holes in all of disc golf right here at Earlewood. Hole 15 is actually somewhat credited to Alan Beaver by Harold Duvall for coming up with this. So this shot, you can either take it straight through here down towards the basket or around the tree down towards the basket. The thing to be wary of, it's a sheer drop off, and if you go past the basket to the amphitheater, then it's OB. Here at hole 17 is the second best place to park at the course. So you can come in here and you can park in any of these spaces and tee off on 17, 18. There's also quick access to 12 and 13 and other holes. Even better, there's a great practice green up here. This large open field. You can throw drives, do whatever you need to up here. But also during the Earlwood Classic tournament, they use this, they put temp holes up here. Sometimes one hole, sometimes two holes. Great location for a lot of things. Greetings and thank you for watching the first episode of the Great Courses of South Carolina. Welcome to our garage / music recording studio with timpani, drum set, keyboards, etc., and evidently now a YouTube channel video recording studio as well. I'm going to have regular scrolling credits, but I want to take the time to thank all the people that helped me out on this video stack of notes. So first and foremost, thank you to innovative folks like Harold Duvall and Russell Schwartz, who I could not have done this without. Also, Tom Monroe, PDGA number 33, that's significant. Alan Beaver, Columbia folks like Tony Tomasino, Shea Vandekar, Scott Wallace, Todd Lyon for his comprehensive history of courses in the upstate area, Craig Wren, Sarah Lamberson, Kevin Fuller of the Flying Disc Museum, folks in the Columbia Disc Golf Club, especially on the Facebook page, thank you for a lot of great conversation and information that went back and forth there. The Flying Disc Museum for helping supply some pictures of the night flyers. The South Carolina Department of Parks, Rec, and Tourism, Myrtle Beach State Park, Huntington Beach State Park, the City of Columbia. Special thanks to Eric Vandenberg, historian with the PDGA. He and I have gone back and forth a lot on information on the early courses of South Carolina, and it seems like the further we look into resources and the more people we contact, the more places we contact, the list of early courses keep changing all the time. It's very exciting. One of the future episodes later this summer is going to be a comprehensive review of the first courses of South Carolina back in the early Myrtle Beach days. And that list keeps changing, so we'll see what it becomes by the time we get there. Also, special thanks to my wife Dawn, who has been many things to me over the past 25 years. Wedding anniversary coming up soon. Pretty sure I remember the date, probably. But 25 years, she's done many things for me, and now she's added cameraman to that job, so thank you very much, Dawn, for doing that as well. Until next time, keep banging those chains.